Hello, I'm Dr. Michelle May, the founder of Am I Hungry Mindful Eating Programs and Training. And I am so privileged to have two wellness professionals with me today who work with the City of Mesa and have brought Am I Hungry to their employees and team members. And so I want to welcome both of you, Cassandra Coontz and Hannah Scherer, to share about your experience and help us address this complicated issue of how you bring mindful eating to the workplace. So thank you both so much for joining me.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you for having us. We're excited to be here.
I'm so pleased that you were willing and able to do it. I know you're very busy, and it took us a little while to get this on the schedule because you have a lot of responsibilities. And so I don't take for granted that this is something that you were able and willing to take time to do. So I want to really allow you to lead this. I've written down a few questions to kind of guide the conversation, but I want you to share what you think other wellness professionals might want to know about mindful eating in the workplace. So why don't you start by sharing with us a little bit about your organization?
We work for the City of Mesa, which has about 6,000 employees who are eligible to participate in our wellness program. We also have about 2,000 spouses and dependents that are also eligible to participate in our wellness program, which obviously includes participating in the Am I Hungry program, which we love so much. So these are the people that we basically cater to.
And for those who don't know, the City of Mesa is in Arizona. I actually went to high school at Mesa High many years ago. So I'm familiar with the community. And I love that you're bringing it to the team members there. So how long have you been offering Am I Hungry now?
So we started it in about 2019.
Mm-hmm. 4 years ago.
Yeah, so 4 years ago, we started offering Am I Hungry? And tell everybody a little bit too about City of Mesa. So it's hard because it's fun working with such a large group, but then also challenging because basically as the city, there's so many different departments. So there's about 30 different departments within the city that we target. We have the police, the fire, the solid waste. We have our HR personnel, and the list goes on and on. So we have a big audience to target to. And so this is who we market our wellness programs to. And, but we're very lucky at the city to have such support from upper management. And so we have a really amazing wellness program. And so we're very lucky here at the city. And so our job is to really spread the news of wellness, get people excited about wellness. And a big part of that is the Am I Hungry program. It's a huge part of our wellness program. So.
A little bit more about that. What? And I know, Cassandra, you'd had some experience with Am I Hungry before you went to the City of Mesa. So I assume you're the one who kind of brought it there. Was that how that happened?
Yes, it is, which I guess is pretty amazing to bring this program and to have it grow and continue to grow is really exciting to see. So yeah, I got hired 5 years ago now. I've been at the city for 5 years, and I was trained at a hospital. My prior job trained me to become a facilitator. And then I was excited to bring it to the City of Mesa. And yeah, it's just been so well received. And I mean, I'm super passionate about the program. And so I spread the word all the time. People probably get tired of me talking about it, but
say more. So what is it about this approach that has really ignited your interest in sharing it and your passion for bringing it to the City of Mesa?
Yeah, I think because it's such a different approach that I had never really thought about before. And so it personally changed my life for the better. And healed my relationship with food, which I didn't really think I had a problem with food before going through the training. And so it's just made my life so much better. And so I just want to share that with everybody. It's like, when you watch a great movie or you read a great book, you just want to tell everybody about it. And so that's what I want to do, is I just want to share the news with everybody because it's life-changing. So
Wow. Well, I love that you said that. And I would actually reflect that quite a number of people who go through our training come to help others and then find that they themselves are helped as well. In fact, I just saw a Facebook post from one of our trainees, Elise, who said exactly the same thing. This was transformational for me, and I want to help bring it to other people. So I don't think you can have a better champion than someone who's experienced the benefits of it.
mm-hmm.
What have been the benefits then? What is it about this that makes a difference for people?
Yeah, I think a lot of people have here at the city, you have to remember, we have shift workers, we have people that are working 10-hour days. So very tough work schedules, and a lot of people struggle with finding a good way to eat in between and navigate, their nutrition. I think a lot of people have tried diets before, a lot of people that work here at the city, and they've realized that it doesn't really work for them.
Mhm.
So just being able to offer like a weight neutral approach and helping them in not focusing on the number on the scale or focusing on restriction has been very, good for all of these employees. And we get nothing but great feedback, and have a lot of conversations in the elevator where people
Mm-hmm.
come up to us and tell us, that it's really changed their lives for the better. So we just really want to continue, with that trend.
I love that. It's interesting because as we record this, it's New Year's, right? It's people are, oh my gosh, so much diet talk, so much weight talk. It's on all the news programs. It's showing up in all of our social media feeds. So you guys are kind of swimming upstream there, aren't you? I mean, doesn't it feel a little bit like, oh, wow, we're doing something really different here?
Yeah, it's honestly really refreshing and amazing. We're really trying to create that culture here at the City of Mesa to the non-diet approach, focusing on total well-being and getting away from this, good versus bad, and so we really try hard because we offer a variety of programs. We work with a lot of dietitians. We offer a lot of different vendors teach classes for us. And so anytime that we have a new vendor or we have a dietitian, we make sure we meet with them first and we explain what the work that we're doing here. And we've been putting in this work for, 3 years now, and we don't want to damage that by having someone else come in. And so we make sure that they follow the same philosophies and the same mindfulness and intentional eating and everything. And so that's been really important to us. And again, people probably get tired of me saying it like when we're going to do a challenge or something. And I'm like, wait, let's look at this verbiage. We got to make sure it's following, our Am I Hungry Mindful Eating approach, because, it's so easy to just go back into the old habits, and we don't want that to happen. So
it has to be one of the reasons you've been so successful there is because you've been so diligent about making sure that the messages are congruent and what you're sharing with your employees, your team members on every level lines up with this idea that it's not about short-term change or temporarily losing weight, but literally about supporting your well-being.
yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I love that. How many times have you offered the program? Do you have an estimate? I know it was challenging because you said 2019. Of course, we had the pandemic in the middle there.
Yes.
So we had 17 workshops already since 2019. With about 250 people that went through the Am I Hungry program. We've also offered a lot of the skill building classes. I think it's about 25 that we've offered since we started. So, yeah.
Wow. So you said 17 workshops?
Mm-hmm.
So for those that are listening, a workshop can look like a lot of different configurations, but the classic workshop is 8 sessions. So have you been doing those online or in person or some hybrid of that?
Yeah, so we started with in person, and then of course with the pandemic we had to switch to virtual. But like everybody else has been saying, it's been nice to be able to learn to do virtually because we can reach so many more people, so many more departments. So then we were just doing virtual, and now we're going back to doing some virtual, some in person, because there's just, the in-person, there's nothing like it when you can have those group dynamics and sharing, and it just makes a big difference too. So we're
I
excited to offer both.
completely agree. Yeah, I think the pandemic offered all of us some options and a way to reach more people. But in person, you also have the ability to do some interactive things that don't work quite as well online. And we, as you know, we try to modify things and adjust it so that it's very effective. But boy, that in-person interaction is fabulous, especially because for a lot of people, eating has been such a confusing, sometimes secretive, sometimes shame-inducing process, that to be able to talk to other people and say, oh yeah, I do that too, you do too, or to be able to share what they're learning and to begin to say, okay, I can see the change she's made or they've made. That's really helpful to me. So
yeah, and then
we also last year for the first time actually had the first self-paced online program, and we've noticed that, like, even though we don't have that like personal people meeting each other in person connection with those participants, they've done a great job using the forum to connect with each other. So I will say I find like that Am I Hungry is also offering a great portal that allows people to really connect with each other, even if it's not in person.
That additional self-paced program is primarily for shift people who are not available during the daylight hours, for example.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah,
Great.
that's why we offered it, because we had so many people saying, I want to take the program, but I can't attend that time at lunch, I can't. And so, you were wonderful to let us know about this other online self-paced program, and it's been really well received, high attendance. And like Hannah said, there's been great discussion in the forum, and we love chiming in there and sharing our stories and hearing their aha moments and everything.
Well, again, I'm absolutely convinced that you are an important part of the success of this. And this is really how Am I Hungry evolved. Was, I developed the program initially. I was just teaching it to people in my own community on my half days off from my regular medical practice. But when I, like you, saw the difference it was making for people, not to mention how it had changed my life, the idea became, how can we train others to offer it to their circle of influence? And that's been such an essential part of this, because I could never reach your employees the way that you guys can. You're embedded there. You're literally changing the culture. And now you have many ways of offering this material, and you're creating a network of other information that's congruent. That's how change really occurs. Amazing.
Yeah. It's really exciting when you say it like that. It's really exciting.
Yeah. And that's what we all want, right? As healthcare professionals or wellness professionals, is to make a difference in the world. And that's what you're doing. Do you have any stories about people that you've worked with, or anything that might help us get a image of what this looks like?
I mean, like I said, so many people come up to us in the hall, or, and be like, I took your program and I love it. It's changed my life. And we'll go out to department meetings, and we'll say, we'll just be doing a marketing about the wellness program in general. And we'll say, what do you love about the wellness program? And then
They bring
without
up, "Am I
fail, they
hungry?"
bring up, "Am I hungry?" And they say, "It's an amazing program," and they share their success from it. And there's one gentleman that went through the program, and I think the biggest takeaway from him was just the freedom that he now feels, the food freedom of, not being so time consuming of, all consuming of, as you know, and focusing on diet and weighing and restricting. And in class, he would say, "I've been logging my food and using apps for 40 years. And he finally stopped and he said, what a weight lifted off, and he feels amazing. And, that just really stood out to me because he's having success, he's feeling great, and the freedom that comes with it. So,
You bring up a really important point, Cassandra, and that is an unmeasured amount of time that is spent thinking about food, what I'm going to eat, what I did eat, logging food, am I following my diet? Oh no, I'm off my diet. And I wonder how much this affects people in the workplace that we're not even measuring, sort of a form of presenteeism, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's a really good point.
That's a great point. I hadn't thought about it that way, but yeah, I would think it definitely helps with productivity and presenteeism and just being happy.
Yeah.
There's that. Yes. Because that's what a wellness program is for, right? Is to create a support system so that people can be productive and stay in the workplace and be as healthy as possible. There's healthcare costs, there's all kinds of things that we hear talked about, but I think this idea that a person can gain agency over their decisions about their eating and activity and self-care is really important. And one of the things that I've seen when I've taught workplace wellness programs is that people really take the lessons that they learn here to the workplace, how they communicate, their compassion and self-compassion, their ability to focus and be present and not so scattered, and moving away from that kind of dichotomous thinking. We learn it as foods aren't good or bad. We can also apply that concept in the workplace in terms of we make mistakes. What can we learn? How can we do this better next time? So I don't know if you've seen that or if you've been in a position to see that, but it seems like another benefit of learning a mindfulness-based approach.
Yeah, I mean, you bring up a great point that the mindful eating program is so much more than just eating too. We learned so much about just being mindful in general in all aspects of our life. And I think that's why, I also love the program, is because it's, really helped me be mindful in all areas.
Great. Any other stories you'd like to share?
Well, there's another gentleman. I thought I'd just read his quote because it's just better that way. I appreciate you teaching the course and sharing this helpful information. I have always been self-conscious and feeling like a victim of emotional overeating, but this program helped me identify the whys of these behavior patterns and get to the roots so I could start creating new patterns and enable me to live a healthier lifestyle where I am in charge. Thank you. And then it was really neat because, as you know, there's the scores of before and after of the eating cycle assessment, and his numbers were remarkable difference. So it just went along with that testimonial to see the number change from overeating to being more instinctive eating. And so
fabulous. So you guys are using the eating cycle assessment scores to help measure the results in the course.
Yes, we are.
Do you measure things like attendance, participation, completion, other things like satisfaction, that sort of thing as well?
Yes, we use your wonderful feedback survey that we use, which is very helpful. We should probably look into doing more of like a long-term statistical approach over the years, what an impact it's made. And graphs and tables would be amazing to see visually, but yeah, your feedback survey is very useful, and we always have the employees fill that out.
Oh, that's great. I mean, we have helped other organizations do write-ups, some white papers, and I can share some examples with you if you're interested in doing that. And we'd be happy to help you if you'd like to do that. If you have the data, it's always great to be able to report that out. And it's helpful with decision makers, right? I mean, who want to know that they're investing in something that's really beneficial. I love all the qualitative stuff, but sometimes the quantitative stuff is important as well.
So, but most people though, honestly, just tell us so much. I'm so grateful that the city offers this program. They're just so grateful. They always tell us so many times, thank you so much for offering this program. And then they say, this is one of the best programs I've ever taken, or this is one of the best classes I've ever taken. And, it's just amazing, again, that the city offers this wonderful resource to its employees, and the employees are so grateful for it. So
speaking of that, you've mentioned the weight neutral approach. This is a really important aspect of Am I Hungry? It's that we believe that we can help people with their eating no matter where they are on the weight spectrum, and that whether people lose weight or not is not nearly as important as their ability to manage their eating and to become more joyfully active and to prioritize self-care. But I imagine that's a bit of a hard sell to decision makers who are, like the rest of us, being pummeled with information about weight as being the primary problem. So how do you sell that? I mean, how do you make the case for this?
In our case, it's just a small team of 2 people and our manager, our supervisor, and she's fully on board with that approach. So for us, it's really not that hard to sell it to our decision makers, because we are the decision makers when it comes to wellness here at the City of Mesa. So, and we're fully on board. But it can be hard sometimes, I guess, to sell it to some employees that are so stuck on the dieting. But most of them have struggled with diets and their weight and weight management and their health for such a long time that I think they're just so excited to see a new approach at all. And they're usually very open to it. And as we said, it's the most popular program at the city here. And we don't even have to do a lot of marketing because the people that went through the program already basically do it for us. So
that's the best kind. That word of mouth is the best kind. Yes.
So that's how we basically get more people interested in our program and get them excited about a different approach.
It's wonderful. I mean, obviously, the City of Mesa trusts you a great deal. So let's not understate that. You've earned somehow the right to be able to promote this. I think that we are really seeing a shift in the way that people think about wellness. I really believe that weight as the primary outcome is becoming outdated. The research would certainly support that it's not an accurate measure of a person's well-being. So I love that we have 3 really strong champions there that are able to not just promote a weight neutral approach, but to be able to offer the program in such an effective way that people are getting it and seeing the benefits of it.
Yeah, and talking about reaching employees and things, we've learned we have to be tricky with the marketing part of it, and that's where you can kind of entice more people, because people want to know the next diet and things like that. And so, the way you word things entices them, and it catches their eye, and then they start reading, and then they're like, oh, okay, this, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense to me. Can you think of an example of how you might promote something that will attract the people that you can help, without using an empty promise of weight loss, but still let them know that this is something that can help them. I mean, you're right. It's very tricky. I know you didn't mean tricky and tricking them, but it's very tricky to use the words that let them know this is something that will benefit them.
I mean, honestly, you have so much wonderful marketing out there that we steal a lot of your ideas.
Good.
Or borrow them, I guess. But I mean, I think the big thing too we use a lot is heal your relationship with food or change the way you think about food. That's really the biggest ones I think we use, because that's really what's happening is, looking at food and eating in a whole different way.
Right. Well, and you're right, because people, even though they might think their problem is weight, oftentimes they can identify that a lot of the pain that they're having is coming from this constant struggle with eating and food and weighing and measuring and counting. And am I doing it right or doing it wrong? Like the examples that you've given already, I think that's brilliant for you to be sharing that idea. And it also sets people up to realize that this is not a short-term quick fix. We're really looking at changing long-term behaviors, lasting behaviors by getting to the core of why people do what they do in the first place.
Yeah.
What do you see as the future for this program in the City of Mesa?
Yeah, we definitely want to continue growing it. We want to offer more virtual as well as in-person workshops and the self-paced version as well for our shift workers. And ideally, we were talking about this yesterday, we would love to see one of the employees that went through the program become a facilitator themselves so they could bring it to their department, because we understand that the different departments have different needs, and it would be great to have someone who can really cater towards that particular group of people in that department and see the things that they're struggling with and kind of like focus on that while they're going through the program. So this is our ultimate goal, to have more facilitators and representatives of the program within different departments here at the city.
I love that idea. That is absolutely a brilliant idea, Hannah. I think that's just such a smart idea, is to get, because people, we all have our own circle of influence, our language, our understanding of the challenges and the respect of that department. So it's really cool idea. Wonderful. Well, that's good. Well, we're here to support you, and you know that, of course. So
thank you.
So what would you say to another organization who was thinking about offering this program? Is there something that you would want to tell other wellness professionals in your position who are kind of thinking, well, is this the right next step for our organization?
We know, or we've realized, that a lot of employees are struggling with weight management. So I would say if you do have employees that are struggle with that as well, which is very likely, you definitely want to give them the resources to help them. And a weight neutral approach is definitely the route to go. Because being more mindful about what you're eating and not being stuck, as we said, in like tracking things and all of that stuff is going to free up, a lot of space in every employee's head to focus more on things that they have to do for work and whatnot. And I think that's the ultimate goal, to create a healthy work environment so your employees can be productive and you're going to have a successful business. So we would just advise other companies to just try it out.
Wonderful. Cassandra, any other thoughts?
Yeah, I will speak specifically to those who are considering becoming a facilitator as well. I would say definitely, best thing in my life that has happened to me. Gonna get emotional, but sorry. Honestly, it's changed my life for the better, professionally and personally. And yeah, I can't imagine my life without Am I Hungry program.
Wow. Okay. My goodness, I absolutely love hearing that. And I love your passion for it. And I love that you're making a difference out of the difference that's been made in your life. And I just couldn't be prouder to have you guys representing Am I Hungry mindful eating programs. I mean, really just amazing. I suspect that we may get some questions or people who want to hear more. So I may reach out to you again, but it's been such a privilege to get to have this conversation face to face like this. Unfortunately, not in person, but actually we don't live too far. So I think I owe you a lunch. So let's get together and chat some more. But thank you so much for the work that you're doing and for how you're helping your employees there at the City of Mesa. So appreciative.
Thank you
Yeah.
for creating this amazing program. We couldn't have done it without you. So thank you so much.
Yes.
My privilege. My honor. Thank you, guys. If you have questions about what's been shared, please reach out to us. So Am I Hungry is www.amihungry.com. If you're specifically interested in information for organizations, you'll see the tab up there at the top, as well as programs for individuals. So please don't hesitate to reach out. Our email is training@amihungry.com. And we'd look forward to answering any questions you may have or setting up a phone call to answer any questions or see if this might be a fit for your organization.